Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to my video of the Wessex Orchid Society Spring Show that was held last Saturday, 12th of March. And I'm going to do this one a little bit different, as I'm going to leave the background soundtracks on. So all the muttering and whittering that goes on in the background will stay there, faintly in the background. And for once I have the absolute luxury of the plant names. So as I go round, I will pop the plant names up as text pop-ups so that you get to see what they were actually called, which is unusual because normally I don't know. And then I can narrate over the top and chat about the plants as we go past. We start off with the display. So this is a non-competitive element, which is a mixture of orchids, succulents, house plants, tropical plants. It's just a mixture basically, and then we'll move on to the competitive elements. So let's get going. Okay, so we start with the sort of display area. As I said, this is a mixture of all sorts of plants, not just orchids, but there's some attractive orchids get put in here, either because people haven't owned them long enough to go in the competition, or perhaps the plant's going over a bit or something. Anyway, nice Maxillaria tenuifolia, coconut orchid, and this is one of those, I can never remember the name, but it's a leafless orchid, roots and blooms. Well, and Christmas wrapping by the looks of it, but attractive blooms nonetheless. As I say, this display is put together by a couple of the members with whatever they get on the day. Whatever that is, that's well bloomed. That's a nice plant. Not quite sure why that didn't go in the main competition. Lovely patterning on that one. It looks like it comes off of a Phalaenopsis. That looks like a wildcat, possibly bobcat. Quite a lot of the store-bought Phalaenopsis type things. That's a Dendrobium hancockii. That was bought in, I believe, to ask me what it was. That looks like a frosty dawn of some sort, black hair type. It's Coelogeny season, so they get dotted around all over the place. There's a Lycaste tucked in the back there. It's also Paphiopedilum and Phragmopedium season, so there's lots of them dotted around in the competition as well. Lovely sign that goes wherever the show committee go. Lots of mini phals down the front here, bringing the colour to the front. Some good bloomings there. There's a Phalaenopsis section in the competitive area with one plant in it. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Nice Delicatum. There's also a few of those around. Paths dotted around to fill the gaps, and Phalaenopsis. There weren't too many Cattleyas around. Look at the size of the bloom on that. Unfortunately, the bloom's just going over. Or that would have been on the competition table, I suspect. Another nice Cattleya. And we'll end this section on effectively my type of orchid. You know me. I'm a sucker for the Odontoglossum types. So just have a closer look at that one. Then we move on to the competition tables. This is the novice entry, the only one, the only entry. That is a good plant to start your show career with. Nice cristata, very, very nice. And then we've got paths and frags. As I said, I'll do pop-ups with the names, so I don't have to worry about them. Well-grown plant, that. Not a mark on the leaf anywhere. Absolute beauty. And a good blooming for that type. Yeah. Nice frag there. They don't do much for me, I must admit, but yeah, when you get the multi-blooms with several blooms out, they can look quite good. Ada glossum. Never come across one before. Ada is a genus in its own right, closely related to Brassias. Obviously crossed back with a Odontoglossum of some sort. That's my Tahitian dancer, with only one spike left. Shari baby crept in and, you know, did okay. It's not a bad spike. And then this Oncidium is a mule ear Oncidium. These are rare. You can't get hold of these anymore. Thick fleshy leaves, and then a metre away you find the blooms. And I'm afraid my camera doesn't do the colour justice. Very large blooms for an Oncidium species. This one didn't get placed, so I haven't got a name for it, but Nobly type hybrid, obviously. And then this was Thailand Black, one of the entries from our newcomer, who was going to put all of them in the big display. Delicatum again. It's a nice plant, good quality leaves on that plant, a nice one. And an unusual stardust, a stardust with no kikis. And then these are the groups of 3, and there's not enough room on the screen to put 3 plant names without totally obliterating the bloom, so I didn't bother. So we can just look at these, but you put in groups of 3, either 3 all the same or 3 all different, species hybrid mixed up. It's a couple of classes in here. Another nice phylogeny, and I wish I'd got the name of that one. That's lovely. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that one before. I'm sure I have. And look at the size of that Masdevallia bloom. What's going on here? What are they feeding them with? Flipping steak and chips, I think. Another nice frag, probably based on Bessier, if it's not the actual thing. And group of dendrobiums, another stardust with no kikis. I don't believe it. How do they do it? Nobly hybrid, and another delicatum. Nice blooming again. Not a large plant for delicatum. You grow them in a bucket. Right, over on to here. That's phylogeny. We'll come to that in a minute. This was the dendrobium species section. Only one in there, Eximium. I think that was Lin's, so a Latoria type species. Obviously got first. It was the only one. That was a good plant too. And then the Cattleya class had 3 in it, I believe. There's Gold Digger. I had that once, and this bloom was enormous, absolutely enormous. Beautiful, blousy Cattleya. And this Epidendrum hybrid, I told the lady, this was another one from our new member. I'm pretty sure that's Comet Valley Orange Star. It's the same as mine, I'm sure it is. So I did tell her that's probably what it's called. Never heard of that, but for a plant that size, that's a lot of blooms. And there's Tony showing the mare around in the background. That's why I had to go careful with the background noise. Leptotes bicolour, they don't do anything for me, I'm afraid. And then this is Brian Gould, is the guy who I did the separate solo show, one-man show. This was his Cymbidium entry, large species in a bucket. This is in the wrong class, I believe. This is in any other species or hybrid not mentioned before. Well, paths have been mentioned. I think that's snuck in the wrong place, that one. It's my Zygo. Phylogeny species class. Cristata's going to be in there this time of year always, and a nice Flaccida. Don't see these very often, or Flaccida, however you want to say it. That's my little Orangus fastuosa, sitting there all on its own, the only one in the class, and it was tiny. Never mind. There we go, look, Phalaenopsis hybrid class with 1 entry. Yeah, amazes me. Most of the Masdevallias around here are probably Lin's, but not all of them. Nice pale yellow hybrid there. This one's got quite a few blooms on with buds to come, and this is unusual for a Masdevallia. I haven't come across that one before. Very sturdy blooms, like waxy. Don't know what that one was because it wasn't placed, but large bloom. And this bloom on this one was gorgeous and large as well, Princeps. Pretty sure that's one of Lin's. And then this Ignea turns up at all the spring shows. It's been in that pot 7 or 8 years apparently, and spends most of its life chucked out in the garden. And look at it! It's not a mark on a leaf. This was another one from the newcomer, Sarnook Blue, and there's a bit of the name missing. We didn't get it. And then ending up on a white Phalaenopsis hybrid. Why not? So, there we go. Bacon rolls, homemade soup and cake was devoured. Buckets of coffee were drunk. Chats were had with Orchid buddies. And some goodies were brought home. So, a good day out. See you next time.